Hello, Steve Ramsden here with Unexplored Films, back with a quick tutorial on an effect that I kind of discovered by accident and I thought I would share because it might be useful in an emergency. This is how to get that perfect shot of a couple at sunset if there is no sunset and it's pouring with rain on the only day that you can do the filming. So this happened a little while ago while I was filming in Yangon, the capital of Myanmar, which was a really fun place to visit and to do some filming in. I'd been hired to shoot a luxury promo video of a soon-to-be opened apartment building. I was going to be given 2 days to do all my filming. One was going to be exteriors and empty interiors, and one was going to be staging some scenes with 2 actors that had been hired to play the sort of perfect-looking humans that walk around the building and decide to live in the building, I guess. So I did a location scout the day before the 2 days of filming. I happened to bring my time-lapse camera and I thought, well, while I'm doing the location scout, I'll set up a time-lapse on the roof, get a good sunset because there was a fantastic view of the city below. Then the 2 days of filming started and it poured with rain for the entire weekend that this had been scheduled for. So I couldn't do much apart from the interiors. Came to day 2 with the actors, it was still pouring with rain, so we still couldn't do anything outside. We had to kind of cheat them walking in under some overhang. We staged all the scenes in the apartments, that was fine, but there was one shot that the management was insisting be in the video. One of the main selling points of this building was the view, right? So they had to get the final shot of the video being the couple standing on their new balcony enjoying the beautiful sunset. That was like the deal breaker shot that they really wanted to get. And it was still pouring with rain and we couldn't do anything on a balcony because it would have looked terrible. The only footage I had of the sun going down from the top of the building was the time lapses. So how do you get the shot of them enjoying the sunset? The answer is you shoot them in front of a solid colour and you replace the solid colour with some footage taken on a different day, either by you or by somebody else if you can't be there. So the final scene was meant to be in the restaurant. Now the restaurant hadn't been built yet, so we kind of cobbled together like one table and one wall. We had one person playing a waiter just walking back and forth in front of them to kind of make it look like it was this restaurant. But there was one wall in this half-finished restaurant that was this kind of lime green, and I thought, okay, well, what if I stand the 2 actors in front of that? Maybe I can use that as a sort of green screen. It wasn't ideal, but I had no choice, and I will composite in my time-lapse footage from the location scout day. I don't know if this will work. Okay, looking at Shwedagong and looking at each other, laughing, smiling. Okay, head on the shoulder. Couple in love. That's great. When I got home and attempted this was like the world's worst chroma key. The wall was too similar to the lighter areas of her skin tones in particular, so the colour was kind of bleeding through when I removed it, and I quickly realised I wasn't going to be able to retain the original colours. But if I'd really turned up the contrast and messed around with the curves and basically brought everything down apart from the wall, I could kind of salvage it as a silhouette. So just by dropping in a colour solid first of all to be the balcony, I then dropped them in on top, got rid of all the colours and made it a full silhouette. Then if you add some blur, just so that the edges aren't really kind of fuzzy and horrible, because they were, you can kind of make it look like they're in the extreme foreground, you're focused on the background. I covered up the areas of her shoulder where the effect hadn't worked properly, and then by just moving the layers to add a fake camera move, it basically looked like I had a crane or a jib or something, and I'd somehow managed to find a way of filming them on the balcony, but at the same time getting a time-lapse effect in the background. And obviously that's moving at a different speed to what they're doing. But you know what? It kind of gets the message across. You can see the sun go down from your balcony, and that was what they wanted. I accidentally created a whole new shot that I hadn't meant to get, and I would have never thought of using a silhouette against a time-lapse had it not been raining. So it just shows sometimes you can turn a disadvantage into an advantage if you think on your feet. So I just thought I'd share that. I really hope it helps. If you're in a situation with a couple at a wedding or any situation where you have to get somebody looking at this perfect view, but the view just isn't happening that day, see if there's a way of filming the people or the elements in the foreground separately and combining it with footage done on a different day, either by you or by maybe somebody else who can make it back to the location even if you can't. So if you enjoyed this quick tutorial, please subscribe to the channel and you will see some more of these. I have been Steve from Unexplored Films, and I will see you next time.